If everybody that watched would just take the time to just hit the like button, you have no idea like how well this channel would do. I just need you to hit the like button. These videos are time consuming, they're hard to make, and it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to be able to bring this story to you, okay? A lot of things had to happen. I had to survive for one, so if you could, please just hit the like button. I was at the administrative management unit at Jackson CI, and my roommate was a guy named Haas. I'm not going to say his real name because I haven't had express permission to say his real name from him. So until I get that, I'm not going to say his real name. I was Haas's roommate for like the better part of a year. Not a whole year, but the better part of a year. And it was around Christmas time. I remember that. It was cold. It was almost Christmas time. And that's when a lot of crazy, violent stuff happens in prison because people are in their feelings, their emotions are running high, and Christmas kind of sucks in prison. So this one guy, he owed some people a lot of money, and there's some other things that went down. We had given our tablets to the officers, so we didn't have our tablets, okay? So I didn't have my headphones in, and I was on the ground in my cell, and me and my roommate were actually playing chess. Even though the dorm was open, we were playing chess, which is like, kind of like, something that we wouldn't normally do when like the dorm is open, but we were so involved in the chess game that like we wanted to finish the chess game. Usually when the dorm's open, we're not like on our bunks unless I have my tablet. Then I tend to ride my bunk, okay? If I have my tablet, yeah, hell yeah, I ride my bunk. There's nothing out there. You know, I like listening to stuff all day on my tablet. But our tablets are on the charger and we're playing chess. Well, anyways, all of a sudden, this guy gets attacked, and this guy gets attacked with a guy that's got like a knife that's like this big. Okay, so this guy's running around the dorm, and he's kind of trying to like hide behind people, and people are telling him like, hell no, keep me out of that shit. Like, it was pretty funny how like none of his people that he thought were his friends were going to help him. Like, he had people that he thought were going to try to help him. Nobody was doing anything for this man at all. All right, nobody was helping, nobody wanted to be involved, nobody cared about. This guy thought he had friends, but when it really came down to it, he didn't really have anybody. Okay, this guy was being chased around. And man, he got poked up multiple times. This guy was bleeding bad. Okay, and he was still running, even though he was leaking, there was blood going everywhere. And I'm like, man, this is going to be over with. This guy's losing too much blood. Okay, now, what ends up happening is all the guards come in, right? And the cell doors start to close. And I tell my roommate, man, this guy ends up getting on the ground and kind of like collapsing right in front of our cell. And I'm like, and they're yelling commands at him to do different stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, we're going to get sprayed. So I close the door because I don't want pepper spray getting all over me. And I don't want this incident having anything to do with me, so I closed the freaking cell door. It didn't involve anybody we knew or anybody we cared about. And once we were able to verify that, we went ahead and closed the cell door. I didn't want to do it right away because if we had closed the cell door right away, it looks bad. You know what I mean? But at this stage, the doors are rolled. The officer has the slider doors rolled, the one on the station, and he wants everybody to lock down. So I was like, okay, I'm going to close this door. So I close it because I don't want to get pepper spray all over me. I think they're about to spray this guy. And yes, they will spray a guy that's already been stabbed multiple times. Welcome to the real world. I'm telling you guys, it's rough in there. They don't care if you've been sprayed or not. If you present a threat to them and they think you have some kind of weapon, or if they think you're not complying, they will spray you. Okay? Like, the shit you see these ICE officers doing with the pepper spray out there, this is like just a regular day in Florida Department of Corrections. If you think the ICE officers are trigger happy with pepper spray, you ain't seen a Florida Department of Corrections officer yet. They will spray you, okay? I'm talking about, are you refusing to obey my verbal order? They'll ask you that question, and if you say yes, right? They'll say turn around, cuff up, because then, you know, now you're getting a DR, you're going to confinement. And if you don't turn around and cuff up, they're going to spray you. It's that simple. When they use force on you, they're going to spray you. Okay, when they say turn around and cuff up, If you don't turn around and cuff up, it's spray time. It's that simple, you know? And that's how it is in there. They're very spray happy. Like, they're yelling all these commands at him. They're like, oh, put your hands behind your back, oh. And he's the victim. Like, he's the guy that, like, he really technically, in terms of institutional rules, didn't really do anything wrong. Now, he owed people money and shit, so he did do something wrong. But in terms of, like, the prison rules, this man really didn't do anything wrong. And the actual guy that stabbed him had actually locked down in his cell. And so, but they're treating the victim kind of like the perpetrator because he's the one that's just kind of right there, you know. They ended up having to air flight him to an outside hospital. He almost died. They had to drag him out of there. He was going limp. He was losing way too much blood. He very, 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 very closely almost lost his life. And I just remember sitting there thinking, damn, man, we're going to be locked down the rest of the day. When are they going to pass these tablets out, man? That's what I was thinking. And, like, it occurred to me even in that moment, I'm like, this man almost just lost his life in front of me, and I'm more worried about a tablet than this man's life. I'm so desensitized to violence that I don't even, like, register that as something that it's not upsetting to me. It doesn't, like, I was thinking about, man, I wonder what's for child tonight. You know, I remember I went down, I hopped into my locker, and I got a Coca-Cola, and I ate a bag of chips that's called whole shebangs. And I sat there eating a bag of whole shebangs and drinking a Diet Coke. And this is part of what drives the officers crazy. I get it, you know what I mean? Some crazy shit's going down. Somebody almost died, and you're worried about a tablet. I get it. I understand the officer's perspective now. Like, in hindsight, I get it. Like, I completely understand, you know? And I'm kind of fucked up, okay? I am. I'm desensitized to this stuff. Because I was taking, you know, this happened again. This is a story for another video. I was taking a shit at Swanee CI, and somebody got stabbed right next to me while I was taking a shit. I took some Coca-Cola and some Keefy Coffee yellow singles, and I mixed it together in a plastic cup. And I don't remember what we called that. We had some kind of slang term for it, but I honestly forgot. But it was like an energy drink, but it fizzed up like a root beer float. It actually tasted very good, combining Coca-Cola with instant coffee. It's something we did in there that I'd probably never do out here. And I remember I had one of those that night, and we stayed up all night playing chess, and it was actually a pretty good night. Like, that's the crazy thing. It was a pretty good night. Yeah, so I ate a bag of whole shebangs, I drank a Coca-Cola, and we made like coffee Coca-Cola root beer floats. And like, that's what I remember from that night. Thank you for watching the video.